Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our channel again. We have a new guest today, person of Olatomide Bamidele, and today we are going to the United States. And Olatomide Bamidele is going to be telling us about how to apply for graduate school and how to get full funding for your PhD or for your master's program, most especially in chemistry. So he's going to share with us his idea because he's a chemistry-based professional, and he's going to tell us a broad general idea and overview that he has about other programs in the US and how you can successfully get a full funding or scholarship to study in the United States. So I will hand over to Mr. Olatomide Bamidele to introduce himself properly and get us started.
All right, thank you, Mr. Benson. I really appreciate this opportunity. I'm honored for coming. So let me start by introducing myself. My name is Olatomide Bamidele. I was born and bred in Ibadan, Oyo State, Nigeria. I attended Obafemi Awolowo University for my bachelor's degree in chemistry, and then I also attended University of Ibadan for my master's degree in industrial chemistry. So I've always been on the chemistry long line before I came now to the University of North Texas, where I'm presently a graduate student in the Department of Chemistry too, with my focus on surface/material chemistry. So basically, it has always been chemistry all along. So it was an easy path to transcend. So now, what I've discovered most is the fact that I've seen a lot of brilliant people that they actually have this qualification, but they think it's very hard to actually get an admission in the United States. I actually have a lot of friends. When I was done with my master's, and I told people I want to travel abroad and go for a PhD, a fully funded PhD, with a certain stipend. I actually heard some people telling me it is not possible. A day to the day I was coming to the United States, I told someone was like, "Oh, are you going to come and do PhD in Nigeria?" I said, "Oh, except if they're going to fully fund my PhD and they're going to give me so amount." The person said, "You are a joker. You are never ready." And that was a day to day I was going to travel out. So I laughed. So it means people don't have information to make them succeed. So now, and when I found out that I've been helping at least some few friends for the chemistry. So what are the first things people need to do? When I meet you, what the first thing I tell people to do is, after you get the first thing you should do is to convert your results over 4.0. I mean, there's like an ICGPA calculator on west.org where you can convert your CGPA over 4.0. It means your transcript, your BSc transcript and your MSc transcript, convert it over 4.0 and see where that stays. Then, after you get that will help you inform your decision on what next to do. At least, I feel if you have a bachelor's degree, you can go straight to PhD. When you convert it over 4.0, if you have at least 3.5 and above, it means if you finish with a first class as a bachelor's degree, you can get a fully funded PhD program. But if you don't get a first class, you finish with a 2-1, you can also get a full funded PhD, but the chances are not as high as a first class student. But this, in collaboration with a master's degree, you can definitely get a fully funded program in chemistry. Now, and there's one thing I used to tell people is the fact that if I can get a fully funded PhD, I believe anybody can get, because I use myself like as a benchmark. I put my benchmark, really, if I can get, I believe anybody can get. It means it is available. There are about 50 states in the United States, and every state has at least 10 to 20 schools. If you multiply that, it means you have almost 1,000 possibilities of getting admitted into the United States. It means you have a long range. Now, one of the first things I tell people to do is, once you have this in mind, the first thing you need to do is now take GRE out of it. People are scared of GRE because people feel like, oh, GRE is difficult. I actually have a friend that was telling me, oh, I don't like GRE. They said it's difficult. That is a fallacy. The first thing you need to do in GRE, study for GRE. GRE is not as difficult as people make you believe it is. GRE is not. GRE is a standardized exam, yes, but it's not that difficult. It's just a matter of you having the right mindset of you can do the GRE. Like I said, once you want to do GRE, I say people try to target 310. So that when you target 310, if you fall on 300, it is good. Because if you try to target 300 and you fall less than 300, it discourages you. Not to now say that if you get 290, but if you get 290, you can still get a fully funded PhD in the United States. But I don't advise people to rely on that hope. I just tell you, target 310. Once you target 310, when you fall on 300, then you are in a safe region. It boosts your chances. Now I've talked about three things. Calculate your CGPA and over 4.0, BSc or MSc or whichever one, then now GRE.
Yeah.
Try to go to GRE. Then after GRE, then try to take TOEFL. Although some schools waive TOEFL, but at least you still need it. So TOEFL, just try to get 90. Because I feel like some people will write TOEFL, they will get maybe 105 or something, or some people will even get maybe 100 and they feel like they've not done enough. I've actually seen someone that got 3 or 4 in GRE. I was thinking they didn't do enough. That they want to write GRE. I was like, really? Like I've seen someone that got a fully funded year and had 296 in GRE, 295. So it's just like I said, information sometimes is very critical. If people are not if they don't have the right information, they tend to always believe they're not doing well enough. So now do TOEFL, try to be at least 100. I always tell you, shoot for the sky and shoot for the moon, so that if you don't get to the moon, you fall on the sky. You can even shoot for as high as you want, so that when you fall, maybe a little bit below that, you don't fall too much. And if you want to take IELTS, try to get at least 6.5 in every band, but shoot for 7. So that you don't set a benchmark to 6.5. Shoot for 7, so that when you fall on 6.5, you are fine. Now that you've had all those standardized tests, that's GRE and your result, everything is complete. Now we need to move to the statement of purpose. Now, someone sent me a statement of purpose. I reviewed a statement of purpose yesterday for someone. The person had a first class in masters and a very strong second class upper in bachelor's. The statement of purpose was not what me as an admission officer we even approve. I'm saying if I was an admission officer, I wasn't going to approve it. Why? Because sometimes some people don't people just write because people just write because they want to write. One of the things that make you more interesting or make them take you more serious is the range of your writing and how you can really express yourself, because they can't meet you, they're only seeing your result. You can be book smart and not intellectually smart. So being book smart, anybody can read, cram, and be smart. But being intellectually smart, you are telling them you have a high range of vocabulary and like you know what you're doing. And everybody wants to relate with you because they feel like this is you are expressly clear. And what I used to tell people is every first paragraph of any statement of purpose you want to write, I said the first paragraph should be about I like now. Let's say chemistry like this. When I was going to write my statement of purpose for chemistry, one of the first things I said as a child, I said my mom bought a shoe for a sandal for me, a very nice sandal. I really loved it. But while I was playing, I cut the sandal, knowing that my mom was going to be angry at me and it's really going to be hell. One of my friends told me about how you can soak a styrofoam inside gasoline to make gum. Using that to form gum, I use it to stick my shoe together to avoid my mom detecting my shoe was cut. That is a very good experience of as a child unknowingly how you discovered chemistry. That is that's like oh, everybody's like fascinated. Wow. So this child at a very young age just did something random. So it's not like this person just even if you are lying. No, I'm saying like because I've seen a lot of, even if you are lying, but if if you see that, people are going. So it's relatable. So from there, I can say, oh wow, this is what arose my love for chemistry.
Chemistry.
Because unknowingly, and that first paragraph gets them entertained because it shows that this boy had a childhood dream of studying chemistry. So from there, I now translate into how that my love for chemistry, that's my first paragraph, how my love for chemistry made me pursue chemistry in the university. That's going to translate into my second paragraph. And my second paragraph, I'm not going to talk about even if I had any challenge during my undergrad, if I had any challenges, I'm going to put it there and how I overcame them. Then from that, talk about how much I enjoyed chemistry, the course that caught my attention. Then I'm going to finish that sentence with my thesis. Then from there, I'm going to transit. If I did a master's degree, I'm going to transit into my master's degree, and how it's still my passion that is leading me. So passion. If I was bachelor's, I would just elaborate on my research degree. I will not skip to the paragraph 3 of masters. So masters is a higher level of learning. They expect more quality independent research, that you get time to express yourself. Like I said, everything must transit into the other so that someone cannot jump to paragraph 3. They want to follow your story. You keep them engrossed. Then from paragraph 4, I used to tell people paragraph 4, where you talk about what research you want to focus your PhD research on. I tell people, now, if you are schooled in Nigeria, forget your research in Nigeria it's a BS level. I used to tell people, I used to tell people that your research in Nigeria is a BS level. It's a BS level. It means don't conform yourself. Don't conform yourself with this research I did in Nigeria, because you find out that what research you did in Nigeria is something a bachelor student here they're doing for one practical experience.
Practical experience in class.
I tell people that for you to determine the kind of research you want to focus on here, first thing you need to do is go to US News best rankings of universities. US News best ranking of universities. Then you can now filter your search to chemistry. Then you can now check schools and check their chemistry department and see their area of research. Now, one trick is, if you want to apply to an area of research, there's always an area that is very hard. Like when I wanted to come here from Nigeria, I applied for computational chemistry. I had only heard about computational chemistry during my master's. When I think there was one man that Dr. Biochemistry, when I was talking about, he was modeling. I'd only heard about I just went ahead to check some sites about computational chemistry. Nobody, because I think my friend then too did computational chemistry, but he did a lower level of computational chemistry. Computational chemistry is something that people like here. You can also do organic chemistry. So those stuff, I was able to form my PhD focus on how I wanted computational chemistry, my around physical chemistry. Only few people do physical chemistry in Nigeria. So saying you want to come and do physical chemistry PhD abroad gives an insight that, wow, this guy is coming to do something difficult. And like I said, the more difficult what you're applying into, the higher the chance of you getting in. But if you want to do what everybody is doing, you have a high number of people applying to the same thing. Then from that, you just finish your last segment with blah blah. Oh, this is, and then when you are writing, like I said, when you are writing, do not overflow issues. Do not make yourself the light and shiny star in Nigeria. Just make it moderate. Just make it moderate and make it clear as possible, easily understood, and also don't use primary words. Try to show your range of vocabulary. Like, don't be using primary words. Let them know that you actually have, like, if you have to sit down with a dictionary and translate some words into higher language, but not extreme vocabulary too. Just find a balance. Now, after we've gotten through that, now in the process of applying to schools, now I've noticed that if you ask an average Nigerian, what school do you want to go to? You see them, they will be telling you Howard and Yale, Columbia, Harvard. I still be like, what? I still be like, see, yes, in my mind, I want to go to Harvard too. But people make a mistake that Harvard, Yale, Columbia, they don't take you based on the fact that you finished with a 5.0 GPA. They don't. That is not most of every other thing that they consider every other thing aside academic brilliance.
Academic brilliance.
They want to see your story. If you ask some people that had 5.0, even in school, they didn't do anything apart from getting all A's. They don't have any novel research. They don't have any potential idea. They are just book smart. And you're competing with people from maybe from China, from the US that at age 16 or 17, they've been doing novel things. They've probably had one or two patents to their names. So it limits some opportunities. Some people be applying. Now I'm saying you cannot applying to Ivy League schools from a third world country is very difficult, except you've actually done substantial work that people are even seeing you, people are even rating you in Nigeria as one of the talents of the generation. Harvard will embrace you because Harvard always wants to associate with success. Once you've done so, they always want to associate with success. But if you're just a normal student that is just brilliant, it's very difficult. I actually had a friend that finished with 4.64 or 4.67. You know, he finished the first class. I think he had about 314. Is it? I think 314 in GRE or something like that, and maybe 1 or 2. He had one robotic experiment. He was waiting for MIT. He had one robotic MIT. He waited for MIT for like 2 years before he now decided that. So people make that mistake. I just tell people that now, as a chemistry person, like I said, US News best ranking of university, filter it to graduate school, filter it to chemistry. Now, look at that schools from 1 to 20. Take your eyes off it. Because now, take your eyes off it. What people don't understand is, irrespective of the school you go to in the United States, when you graduate, you will get the same job as someone in Harvard. You will get the same job. I have friends that graduated from my school and are working in the same company as Harvard graduates. Companies here are not yes, if you go to Harvard, maybe there's a higher chance of you getting a job because of your school, but doesn't mean that the school you went to here is not going to give you a job. Okay, Harvard people can have maybe like 10 interviews when they graduate. You may probably have 3 or 4. But if you have 3 or 4, you maximize your 3 or 4. That is because I've had someone that went for just one interview before graduation, and they're working in that company right now. They're working in one of the biggest semiconductor companies in the United States. Just one interview. So you don't need to. It's just about the quality of your research. My professor in my school now finished from Caltech. Graduated from Caltech. Another professor in my school finished from MIT. Someone just joined my school from Stanford and Harvard. He did his bachelor's in Harvard. And if those people now train you, they will give you a letter of recommendation. It means you are trained by Harvard graduate. It means that so that's what people don't understand. Certain people that remove your eyes from the first 10 or 20 schools. Go to start from 30. From 30 to 40, pick 2 schools. From 40 to 50, pick 3 or 4. 50 to 60, pick like 10. 60 to 70, pick another 10. 70 to 80, pick another 10. Then that range till it goes down, pick another 10. Now these are some schools that I know that probably will give an admission. I think I know about Auburn University, Florida International University, Florida State University, University of North Texas, Louisiana State University, University of Louisiana, Wayne State University, Virginia Community University, Northern Illinois University.
You have everything in your head.
So I know those are schools I know that I have seen people go into.
Okay.
So those, like I said, those universities like this, they are going to these universities will give you. I'm sure they will give you chemistry admissions. I'm sure.
For both PhD and both masters.
Yes. But now, one thing I've noticed with people is the fact that one time when I wanted to apply, I wanted to apply for masters. The lady convinced me, the secretary convinced me, why don't I apply for PhD? That is the same thing. Now, do you know why? Because schools, I tell people, apply for PhD. Once you get here, if you now say you don't longer feel you want to finish a PhD, you can graduate with a master's. Nobody will hold you. But applying for a PhD gives you a full funded program. Because masters, they know that you're not going to do quality research.
Okay.
Probably going to do 6 months of research. So they don't want to invest too much in you. But if you tell me, I have a friend that went to Northern Illinois University. She came in, she said she wanted to do a PhD. After the first year, she said she's no longer finished. She wanted to finish a master's. Now she has graduated with a master's. She's resuming her job by September. But what? She got the funding for all those years. She didn't lose her funding. But if you come, even if you accept it from masters from Nigeria, it's going to reduce your funding.
Yeah.
Because they believe master students, you are not going to do research. You are not really going to contribute to the school.
So you don't even get more funding. You get less funding.
Less funding. So even if you get here, like I said, you can do anything when you get here. Apart from PhD, when you don't get here, you just tell your professor, I don't really think I'm feeling this. Nobody can force you here. Your professor might try to, but give yourself that chance of maybe you might even fall in love with the PhD. So if you don't fall in love after 1 year, if you don't feel it, you can say, oh, I want to get to a master's. Nobody will hold you by the neck. You have your rights. They won't stop your funding because you're already in the program. They can't stop your funding. But applying for masters from Nigeria, they will not really want to consider masters or just be giving free. And one thing why you need funding is because of the embassy. Because if you don't have to take a bank statement to the embassy, you're 100% guaranteed you are coming. But if you have to take bank statement, you are giving yourself a 50-50 chance, depending on the kind of funding they give you.
Okay.
Yeah, then again, Texas Tech University, I remember Texas Tech, you can apply to RISE too. So now, after you've done those applications, one of the first things I used to tell people is the fact that applying to schools, people think it's easy. You just apply. Like I said, I sent over 200 inquiry emails. I used to tell people that when you want to send these emails, you can just be eating, just send emails, just create a draft, input all your details, just send to the school, just inquire, just send. I was sending emails. When I check my send box like this, I just see the number of emails I sent. It's not, like I said, applying for admission, just focus, just make that like a trying part. Just keep sending emails. Emails does not cost you anything. They are very, very polite. No matter how stupid the question is, they're going to answer you. Now, one of the problems I used to have is sometimes you want to apply to some schools and they will require application fee. You can send emails to some school and request for application fee waiver. That is why, like I said, if you see how many schools I've told you to pick from 30, I've told you to pick more than, that means you pick more than 50 to 60 schools before you get down. So it is not possible for you to pick 50 or 60 schools and you will not get at least 10 or 15 application waiver if you send email to the department. That's why you need to, that's why I'm saying, that's why you need to package your technical purpose, everything well. Because one of the ways to apply for application fee waiver is you can send that stuff to the graduate coordinator to make your profile look more attractive. Once your profile look attractive and you send to for application fee waiver, and one thing people can use this time is use COVID-19 as a weapon, as economic or financial constraint why you cannot afford an application fee. Create that, put your results there. They say due to COVID really hit your family, blah 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 blah. You could not afford it. Most schools will fall for that sympathy. At least for the next 1 year, most schools will fall for that sympathy. Because application fee is another thing that also weakens people's morale.
Yeah.
Use that for application fee. Then after you are done with that, after you're done with the application, if you want to get admission for August next year, be sure you have submitted all applications by December. Although most applications are still open till January, but by December, you've already put yourself on the top of the chain. Now, my school, UNT, when I submitted to my school, UNT, and I got admission, there's also another friend of mine that submitted. He has better criteria than I bet. They've given me admission
even before you submitted.
for him. So whatever, and they cannot take back your offer once you have submitted. So those are, and people, that's what I'm saying. You don't just apply. Some people apply to 2 schools and say, yeah, they didn't give me admission. I started almost 35 applications. Maybe I completed almost 15. So that's it. Now just do the work. I tell people that do the work. And now there are different ways of scholarship. The ones that most of my friends have been getting, and most of people I know, is one directly from the school. I know there are some other ones from other applying to funds or agency. This one is directly from the school. Now, during this COVID-19 period, I can tell you now, this is summer. I'm still being employed by the school. I'm working online. Because students will, no matter what happens, students will still register for schools. Irrespective of what happens. And there's one thing about those agencies, the fact that why me I personally don't like those agencies, because I think some of those agencies, you have to write a written
research proposal sort of.
maybe, yeah, and then I didn't need to write any research proposal. I didn't even need to promise anybody I'm going to come back when I graduate. Like, so that's what I'm saying. So one of the things the schools, the department is, they are giving you the funding, and they are giving you tier responsibilities. And one of the things I do is I teach students. I teach labs. I teach labs. Then also for this summer, because we are working online, I work in the resource center online, where I just wait for students to come online, and if they have any issue, I teach them. That's from 12 to 3 every day. And most of the time they don't come. Even if they don't come, it's not your business. I just put my Zoom on for 3 hours. Once they come, if they don't come, that's all. At the end of the month, something went up. So because it is safer to get the funding from the school, because all these things I'm saying, you get for most chemistry programs, you get funding from the school. The school has been offered. That's why you need to package that, because most schools don't admit more than 15 to 20 students. You have almost, and one thing, they always want to diversify. Most schools want to diversify. It means they want to give an Africa a chance, or maybe so you have to make yourself submit application early, and then also the fact that you apply for application fee, like my school, University of North Texas, they will not require you to pay application fee until they are going to admit you. So there are some schools like that too. They will not ask you for money. They will send that to your CB. If they give you admission, then you can pay. I think Auburn University does that too. Auburn will tell you that they will give you admission and they will refund you. After, even if you pay the application fee, they will refund you when you get there. But at least when they gave me admission, they already gave me a fully funded admission. They will, on your offer letter, you see everything they are paying you. And they don't tell me to pay some $5 application fee. I said, no, I must pay. So those are just, and the TA job, you probably, my department can support you on TA job for 6 years. It means they can support you on TA job for 6 years. One thing about all those agencies, there's a required number of years.
Yes, they can support you.
Because it means if by anything, because some students buy time. Sometimes some people have graduated, because they've not gotten a job, they still want to stay back a little bit. It means they still want to stay. Let's say you after your 5th year, you don't get a job, and you don't want to graduate. You can discuss your professor. You just be doing research. Your professor will even be happy. A senior student that is experienced will be publishing paper. But if you cannot tell the agency you want to delay for 1 year that you don't want to graduate, your funding will stop. And then I just tell people again, once you get here, once you get here, there's the explaining job prospect before you get here. It's kind of what do you call it? It's kind of difficult because there are a lot of because right now, when I got here, like I said, I applied for computational chemistry. But when I got here, I spoke to some people that told me, oh, you need to do materials chemistry. Why? Because you want to go to all these big semiconductor companies. Why? What are the benefits of those semiconductor companies? One, they pay you very big. And then again, they apply for They help you apply for work visa. You don't have to do that yourself. So it's not just coming here. And that's what I'm saying. Like you can do anything. Even when we get here, one of the first things they tell us is we know some of you are not really aware of the situation here. So you just pick a course that just you just pick an aspect that you just feel like you want to study. But they will not give you an option to interview with 3 lecturers before you decide. So interviewing that 3 lecturers, you ask them questions. Oh, what do you have? Do you have extra funding? Where do your students end up? This will form your decision on job prospect. But I've not really seen a PhD graduate that has been jobless for 60 days. I have not. Of course, let us underestimate the power of the village people. But I've not seen I've not seen someone that graduated for 60 days. Most people that I know graduated and they are resuming their job.
No.
Most people even have to graduate early
To get the job, to resume because of the job is already waiting.
Yes. And then what I would advise people that want to come, if it's possible, for chemistry people, try to look into biochemistry. Because of this COVID, there's going to be a lot of funding to that virus research. Try to look towards biochemistry. Not meaning that try to write like in your research focus, try to look for what the department is doing on biochemistry. Although it might be some virology, but try to look at, because there will be a lot of money to biochemistry because of this COVID stuff. There'll be a lot of money. I can bet.
COVID research is what is going to be taking money now from a lot of things.
So write something around biochemistry in your research focus. Tailor it towards that. But again, go through all this. Like I said, best university US news, best university rankings in the US in 2020. It's just one that just Google, see what this are doing in biochemistry. Doesn't mean that you cannot also tailor your research to computational chemistry or materials chemistry. You can't really write about material chemistry from Nigeria. But biochemistry, computational chemistry, tailor something around that. And like I said, this COVID period, as people are being furloughed, people are being out of job, I cannot relate because I've always been I've been employed. Because it's not peculiar to me. They cannot let me go singly. It's for everybody.
Okay.
It's for everybody. So everybody is employed. Every graduate student in my department is employed. And so are all my friends all over the United States. There's nobody that's seen that was not employed that is not being paid. That is why, like I said, it's good to apply for a PhD. Most master students that I know, they don't get anything during this period for these 3 months. It means they just promise them for 9 months. They don't cover them during this summer. That's why PhD is safe. For STEM science-based PhD, it is safe. You are still being paid. So and then one of the major, like when I first got there, one of the major challenges I first had was it was fun because I got there during when it was during the sun, but the cold I got used to it. It's the food, although now I'm getting settled, and like I said, but one of the so far so good. I've been living in a peaceful area. I've not been racially abused. I've not been discriminated against. I've not it's although it's a learning curve. As an international student, you really from Nigeria, you see that there's actually a lot that you think you know that you don't know.
I don't know.
Those are one of the major challenges. It means you have to work twice as hard to understand some stuff. On Saturday, I was on my system for 15 hours trying to make figures for a paper. I didn't know making figures, a graph, was that difficult. I didn't know it was that difficult. For 15 hours, trust me. And I didn't make one, it wasn't more than 11 figures for 15 hours. So it's just, like I said, once you get here, but the good thing about Nigerians is we adapt easily. Because you've been through strenuous, you have to read long hours, have to do a lot of stuff. You adapt, but you also have work to do. But like I said, it is possible to get a fully funded PhD program. Anybody that tells you otherwise, I can confirm at least three or four of my friends, I advised them they got a fully funded PhD. Two are here already. So I also resuming in August. So it's possible to get chemistry. Like, I'm very positive chemistry. I've not seen someone that really followed up on chemistry PhD that didn't get a fully funded chemistry PhD. You'll get it in one school or the other. I've seen people in Tennessee. Some people, I just see them on LinkedIn and say, wow, this person is here too. People get fully funded PhD. Don't let anybody tell you something like that. Yes, the process, like I said, if I can come and lie to you now and tell you that it is you get, when I say you get it, you have to do the work. Trust the process. Once you trust the process and you follow the details, you are going to get it. But like I said, the way I summarize the process in less than 15 minutes, sometimes all this doesn't mean it's that easy.
It's going to be 1 month process.
I think it took me almost 90 days or sometimes to do my applications. Once I just wake up in the morning, the first thing I do, look for schools. Like I said, just type how you look for schools. Just type schools in Texas. There are a list of schools in Texas. Just write all these 47 states or 50 states in the United States. Write it down. Just follow it one by one. Follow the schools. It is not possible for you to do that and apply to schools that will give you, like I said, and you will not get one. It is not possible, no matter anything. And like I said, what I say people, irrespective of everything, yes, human power. Also, pray. You need a God factor too, because so that you need favor. Irrespective of, you can do everything in human power. You also need favor because you are not just doing it alone. But at least God can only multiply what is in your hand. 0 times 0, 0 times 1 million is 0. So you have to do the work, and now you pray for favor. Like I said, try to apply before December. If you've not started applying, you've not started anything, start now. Now is the time. The earlier the better. Because if you submit by December, once they start considering, they review your file first. And if they like your file first, they will just put it on the side. Even if they not meet another file, someone else submits that is better qualified than you, but you've gotten yourself. And even it gives you clarity of mind. You don't have to rush. It gives you time. You don't have to rush to do the application. You started early. But like I said, trust the process. Chemistry, PhD, fully funded, 100%. 100%. It is very, 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 very alive. I've never seen any chemistry student here that is not fully funded. I've not. The only varies the amount of your stipend, and that is dependent on the amount the school has. So a school might be willing to pay you 1,006. Another school might say, we have money, we pay you 1,008. But that one should not be a major concern, because no matter the amount they're paying you, as long as they're not paying school fees, you can walk around. And most schools pay based on the standard of living of their environment. Someone collecting 1,6 might be paying lesser bills than someone collecting 1,8. Someone collecting 1,6 might only have to pay more than 500 in a month. Someone collecting 1,8 might be paying up to 1,000. So it's just but now don't let the money be your focus, but you can get fully funded with stipend in every school without having to depend on agencies.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot. We've really covered a lot of talk about how to apply for graduate school in the United States, and for chemistry especially. And one thing I want to add is that the process also applies to other courses that is different from chemistry. So, and how you search for school in the United States, the same process also apply. And you writing the same statement, the same process also apply. Writing GRE and TOEFL, the same process also apply. Though some schools right now are waiving GRE and TOEFL because of COVID-19. So if you have opportunity of writing GRE, it still give you an edge. Also, and submitting your applications very, very early is very important, because that will give you an edge when the professors are considering your applications. And what else do we need to add that we've not really talked about? We know students will always adapt with all the experiences. The first thing is just applying and getting funded and coming to the school. I think that will be all for today. So please subscribe to this channel, share this video with as many as possible that might need this video, that might need to hear this information. Like, comment below, ask questions if you're still unclear or unsure about some things that you want to ask. And another thing that you need to do is concerning the statement of purpose or your research statement, depending on the school, just at least send it to 1 or 2 people to proofread so that you know that you've written something very tangible and something convincing, and to pick out errors in your write-up. So I think that will be all for today. Thank you so much,
It's
Mr.
a pleasure.
Olatomide, for honoring our invitation. We really appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. We thank you.
All right. Bye.